Welcome back, everyone. It is Eric from Rare Candy, and today we have what is possibly one of the dumbest decks I've built in a long time, and that is going to be Spidops here. No Spidops EX, and even though we do have an attack that does damage with Hammer in, we're actually rarely, if ever, using this attack too. We're actually building pretty much our entire deck around this Entangling Trap attack here. So each player shuffles their active back into their deck, and yeah, we're not taking prizes. We're not decking our opponent out. We're actually trying to win today by removing all of our opponent's Pokemon in play. So every time we use this attack, we can throw up some sort of annoying wall Pokemon like Klefki as an example, or maybe the Mimikyu that we also have here in this list, and try to just annoy our opponent until we can successfully remove all of their Pokemon from play. Now, we definitely have some other cards to go over here, but before we get any deeper into today's video, if you guys do need any PTCG Live code cards to complete this deck or any others, you can check out our friends over at ptcgostore.com. Just use coupon code RARECANDY at checkout for a discount. And Rare Candy's patrons not only had early access to an earlier version of this list, but also have their own exclusive discount code for even bigger savings. Links to those will be down below in the description. But like I mentioned, guys, we do have quite a few other cards to go over here since this deck list is certainly a little bit wacky, but we do need some draw power for our deck to keep churning through these Spidops every single turn since we are just throwing them back into our deck. So we have a 2/2 Barrel line for that Industrious Incisors ability. We also have a copy of the Celebrations Mew for the Mysterious Tail ability. And we do play a pretty high count of Beach Court in the deck. So Mew sort of makes natural sense because if something gets knocked out, we can just promote this guy in between KOs and just freely retreat after we're done using its ability. But we also do have a copy of the Pyukumuku for that Pitch a Pyukumuku ability, where we can just put it back into our deck, or I'm sorry, at the bottom of our deck, and then draw a card. And so again, this is just another way at help finding these Spidops pieces turn after turn since we are losing them every time we attack. So like I mentioned, we do have a couple copies of Klefki. This is going to be most notably for Mew V Max, Lost Box, Miraidon, even Shenpao as well. But we also do have 2 copies of Mimikyu as well. This is going to be mainly for Arceus decks, but I guess to a lesser extent is also still good against Shenpao, Miraidon, etc. as well, since we can wall against Pokemon EX and Pokemon V. But if we're just taking a look at our trainer cards here, as you can see, the vast majority of them are just Pokemon search cards, which again, does make sense. We are losing Spidops turn after turn. But from there, just want to highlight our draw supporters. We have 4 copies of Iono, which is already a really great card, but it's sort of uniquely good for our deck because we're rarely, if ever, going to be taking prize cards with this deck. So what that means is, even in the late game, our opponent's only getting like a single card or maybe 2 cards, and we're still getting that full 6 for us. But our other supporter we're playing is 4 copies of Avery, because of course with this, we can actually, if our opponent has a full bench, we can make them discard 2 of those Pokemon and then shuffle their active back in. So this is just another way at helping expedite the, bench Pokemon removal process and leaving our opponent without any Pokemon in play. So like I mentioned earlier, we also do have the heavy count of Beach Court just to reduce our retreat cost. So especially if we throw something up after Spidops attacks and our opponent doesn't KO us, we do need a way to retreat out of that Pokemon back into our attacker for the next turn. And as you guys can see, we only have 4 energies in the entire deck, just 4 reversal energies. So after our opponent has taken that first KO of the game, this thing's going to be activated and we can just attack with Spidops just for a single attachment turn after turn. So the one sort of downside to this strategy though, is that you probably are asking, well, how do you beat Lost Box if they just never take a knockout and just use Sableye to gradually spread damage counters and knock out everything on your field at one time?
That's the neat thing. You don't.
So you're kind of just relying on the fact that your opponent doesn't know what you're playing, and you're going to bait them into taking the first KO to activate your reversal energies. But, kind of on that note too, I don't think this deck is very great for like a best of 3 format. So like Worlds coming up or like a regional, but in a best of 1 format where your opponent doesn't know what in the world this deck is, whenever you flip over a Tarantula or whatever it's called, I think you can actually steal quite a few games just from the sheer surprise factor of this deck. So we'll have to see if we can get some dubs with it today. But if you guys can't, remember to smack that like button for me, feed that always hungry YouTube algorithm, and let's get in some games with the Spidops deck. I think we can live with this. Let's see what we're going to be going up against. Oh, it's going to be Mew. Well, this hand definitely became a lot worse really quickly because this is a pretty decent hand if we're going against a deck that can't attack on turn 1, but if they can attack, this kind of forces us to need a lot here. Like, ideally, we would have Klefki in the active this turn. That's like the big card we really want to see. But they are going to mulligan, so between that and our top deck and everything we have in hand, we might be able to pull off something here. There even could be a world where we hard retreat into a Klefki if it means stopping their step. Oh, but they had 2 mulligans. Okay. Okay, getting the Iono definitely makes me feel a little bit better about the spot that we're in here. So let's go for trekking shoes before doing anything else. I'll say sure. And we definitely want some basics here. We want tails. Okay, that's a good start. Absolutely. We're definitely going to want Tarantula, but let's see what we have in deck. We have both Klefkis. Let's see how many reversal energies. Oh, we did prize one, so going for the hard retreat on Klefki actually might not even... It might not be worth it. But if we get one down, it at least does kind of make it awkward for our opponent to go for like an escape rope play. So there is still a world where we might do it, but I think for the moment, we're just going to prioritize getting our core Pokemon in play. Like just getting Bidoofs and Tarantulas. So we'll get a Doof. And then from there, guys, I might even get down Reversal Energy, but if they're judging us or Ionoing us, that means they're not using Melodious Echo. So I think we're cool just to hang on to this hand for the moment. Because we don't want to get this down in case they play like Pokemon catchers or something like that too. That is like a potential threat. But yeah, not having a way to get the Klefki into the active, or I should say not having a worthwhile way of getting Klefki into the active this turn, did feel kind of bad. But let's see what our opponent's going to do. Oh no, another Pokemon we do have to watch out for is going to be Ice Cube probably. I didn't check to see if our Manaphy was in deck. I wasn't really paying attention for that. But that actually could be a really relevant card. We might have to get down here. Okay, there's going to be the rope. And honestly, I might just feed them a Tarantula here. Just to keep our draw engine intact. Okay, there's Fusion Strike Energy. Okay, they do have the turn 1 attack, which is a little bit unfortunate, guys, but... I love how they have the turn 1 attack without having to use a single Genesect, just like in their opening hand. Now, if they don't have a Genesect and we just shuffle Mew back, okay, yeah, this got bad news for our opponent. They're definitely going to be... There's going to be some karmic justice for them having the turn 1 attack on us like that. I am anticipating a concession here. Yeah, especially after top decking that too. So I think we're going to get rid of both Ionos. Because we don't want to refresh their hand here. So we'll go for Bibarel. And if we hit some cards we can discard, we can actually get our second one in play and keep drawing that way. So we want another Tarantula. I think that's the big thing this turn we really want to see. That may be and a Klefki. So we'll go... I forget if we had any basics prized. We probably should do this just in case. Mimikyu, not the best card in the matchup. It's not awful, but it's not the worst thing ever either. So trekking shoes, I'll say sure. Avery. So level ball, we'll get Klefki. And I might even just leave it at that. Like, what are the odds the rest of their hand is boss and more energy? That would be kind of annoying. They've already used an escape rope. We could even just say, just try to guarantee it here. Yeah, we'll just get rid of these just to be on the safe side. They got lucky enough on turn 1. I don't want to see them do that again to us on this next turn. We just really want to just lock them down here at this point. So yeah, there's the Entangling Trap. And Klefki. Yeah, you can see this is they're not too stoked on how this game is going. There's Cram, so I mean they could bail themselves out of this spot. Like if they get a heads here, Okay, they do have heads, so we could see an Iono or a Judge from them at this point. Or like ideally, if they have an Elisa Sparkle in hand, if they go for a Genesect, they could actually get an attack off and still refill their hand with Genesect, since Fusion Strike Energy shuts off Klefki's effect onto their Genesect. So if they have Elisa Sparkle in hand, I think that's what they go for here. But we'll have to see. Avery, okay, well that's... Come on, my dude, that's a little bit annoying, I would say. Yeah, let's just say... Yeah, it's probably the correct thing, unfortunately. Okay, and they do have the Ice Cube, okay. That is pretty relevant. Lost City going away, love to see it. So getting rid of Bidoof here actually pretty good too, because now we can get the Manaphy down and still have space for another Tarantula too. Now, do they have a Fusion Strike Energy in hand? Because they would be... Okay, I was going to say they would have to balance. Do they want to take a knockout or do they want to be able to use their abilities? So let's just go ahead and... Super Rod. Don't really care about the Mimikyu if I'm being honest. I think we're just going to do these in case they ever knock out our Barrel. So Great Ball. Spot Ups, okay. That's... We're off to a good start with that. Beach Court. I think we're going to Barrel while we have kind of a low hand size. Okay. It's pretty good. So, do this. Trekking Shoes. Yes, we should keep Super Rod. Unfortunately, then we'll level ball here, grab Manaphy. And then from there, just go for the Iono, and we need Reversal Energy plus another Tarantula. Those are the two cards we really want to see here. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we're doing pretty good this game, I have to say. It was a little bit sketchy our opponent having the first turn knockout, but since they didn't have anything to really follow it up with, we're feeling okay. So, yeah, we'll Entangling Trap. So they probably just promote the Ice Cube since they have free retreat thanks to our Beach Court. I would imagine that's what they want to do here. Oh, just going to promote Genesect. That might be a little bit of a misplay. Maybe they're thinking about playing Escape Rope, if that's the case. Because then they could rope into the Ice Cube and then still have free retreat. Okay, 4 Seal Stone. So they're definitely going to be able to do something here. Okay, they're starting to stabilize a little bit. They do still need Boss or Escape Rope if they do want to start drawing cards, though. Because their deck is still, like, absolutely massive over here. And Worker, okay. Kind of annoying we had to lose our stadium, but at least they are down a Lost City, so that's good news for us. Looks like they're not sure what they want to do. Okay, just a pass. There we go. Broken top deck. Man, we are sort of firing off on all cylinders in this game. So we'll do this. Don't need to play the Escape Rope, so we're just going to Industrious. Shoes. I'll say sure, we'll keep this. Because we can play down our hand on this next turn. We could go for the Avery, but I really just want to save Avery for when they have a full bench here. And so we'll Entangling Trap, put that Genesect back in deck. And we're playing the Klefki game yet again. They just promote Mew here. It definitely seems like the best Pokemon to throw up. Free retreat makes sense. Yeah. So next question is, do they have a boss to get around Klefki? Do they have, I mean, like, even if they have boss, they still need to fill up their bench to be able to draw anything with Genesect. That's sort of the issue. There's Psychic Energy, so they must have Elisa Sparkle in hand if that's what they're going for. Because otherwise you would probably just want to save your attachment for Double Turbo. Okay, there's a Vacuum. So they're going to get rid of our Beach Court, I'm assuming. Kind of annoying, I have to say. So we're down, what, 2 stadiums already? We got the one there. Got one there. And I think they're only down one of their stadiums, so we need to actually be a little bit frugal with when we get down these other beach courts, I think. So what are they doing here? I wasn't paying attention. Are they just using energy mix? Okay, they are. Okay, Spite Ops, that's good. So, yeah, we're going to Avery. Now, at least we can play down our hand pretty low for this Babero. That's like the one good thing we do have going for us here. So let's just go ahead and Great Ball. I think we can toss away one Spite Ops here with this Ultra Ball, perhaps. So let's just do this. If we can get Pyukumuku, that would be good. Okay, not exactly what we want. So let's just go ahead and Ultra Ball both of these away. Get Pyukumuku. So now we can see, what, 5 more cards? And yeah, we have a pretty low deck at this point, so let's see what we can make happen. So Puke for 1. Good card, just not what we want to see right now. And can we get there? We need just a single reversal energy. And we do whiff, which feels really bad, I have to say. So unfortunately, guys, we just have to pass. That was like a really tragic turn that we had there. Do we have... Yeah, we should have another Klefki for after this one goes down, but kind of feels bad. We basically wasted an Avery without being able to get any value out of it. Like, we didn't get rid of any bench Pokemon, and we didn't get rid of their active. But that being said, our opponent's still struggling to get going here, so we definitely still have a shot in this one. Okay, there's the Psychic Leap. Do they put Mew back in deck? Okay, smart man, not going to do that. Yeah, we'll just promote the Manaphy since it has free retreat. Another card we just really don't want to draw here. Okay, so we do get a basic. That's good. So we can get our other Klefki. But we're only going to draw one card here. Is that right? Oh my god. I just do not want to escape rip here at all. Sorry, guys. I think we're just going to try to rip something good off here. Okay, we do get Avery. That's good. Okay, and we finally get a reversal energy. Man, we were starting to struggle there for a minute, guys. So we'll do this. Tangling Trap. Put me back in deck. And Klefki, go. Do your thing. I do forget if Palpad is in deck, but that's something I am wondering about as well, because we're down quite a few Averys. We only have one left. If our opponent does fill like their whole bench again, or we're basically just going to have one attempt at removing cards from our opponent's bench. Also, their deck is still like really thick. They really weren't able to get through a lot of it, so if we're able to just keep doing, you know, Klefki stuff, we're going to be feeling okay. They definitely seem like they don't like their hand, but there's Oricorio. They're probably just trying to keep stuff benched. That way they don't run out of Pokemon, which makes sense. Ugh. Yeah, unfortunately we have to just go for an Avery here. Okay, I mean, at least we do get energy. That's like the big thing. I will say Oricorio is like actually a deceptively decent card in this matchup too, just because they can knock out our Tarantulas. And Tangling Trap. So depending on what we can make happen on this next turn, if we're able to get energy, I'm actually tempted to just take a knockout if they don't get a Mew V down. But our deck is kind of awkward right now. Like, all of our draw supporters are gone, and we do have some clunky cards in our hand that we're not going to be able to easily get rid of. Like, we have one Iono left if it's not prized. We have one Ultra Ball left if it's not prized. Ultra Ball especially would be good to get rid of. Probably like Mimikyu and maybe Babero. Okay, there's the Elisa Sparkle. I am stoked that they had to sparkle to attackers rather than Genesects, because now their draw engine still doesn't work. Okay, so big top deck, guys. What do we get here? Level ball, that's pretty good. So what do we have left in deck in total? Palpad, okay. So we don't have any Ionas left, no Ultra Balls left. I think we have to go for a Pyukumuku here. Because if we hit Tarantula, that's 3 of our 8 cards. Reversal Energy is another 3. So we have really good odds of hitting something we want here. I think the one Spot Ops in deck is the only thing we don't want. Okay, Palpad, a little bit unfortunate, guys, but at least we can start getting some of our supporters back. So I think we get both of these. I mean, we really don't want to refresh their hands. So I think we're just going to get Avery's. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And unfortunately from there, guys, we do have to just pass to our opponent. So they are going to be able to get a KO against us with their Ice Cube. But we have Super Odds, so we can get back this Klefki. Okay, so go Manaphy. Okay, that's a good top deck. So I want the Super Rod here, but I think going for Avery is actually probably just better because we need to hit energy. Okay, and we do. That's really good. So honestly, I'm a little bit more afraid of the Auric. Well, now if we're just taking the KO, we're not afraid of Oricorio because I was worried about Glistening Droplets knocking out our Tarantula if we used Entangling Trap. I don't think we're going to. I think we're just going to take the knockout here. So let's just do this. I don't think we need the Klefki this turn, so I think we're just going to puke. Okay, that's good. So then we'll just retreat. And yeah, just hammer in. Actually taking a prize here with Spite Ops. Who would have thought? Yeah, we're just going to save the Super Rod, because right now I don't feel too threatened about what our opponent's doing. And what do we get? Oh, the prizes. Spite Ops, that's okay, I guess. So, do they have a bench Pokemon? Okay, they have Ultra Ball, so they can actually start popping off here a little bit. Okay, there's going to be a Genesect. And so they could actually get a KO still with Glistening this turn. Actually, is there a world where we should have just roped last turn and knocked out the Oricorio either way? Because I mean, I guess they could have still technically knocked us out with Ice Cube. They just would have needed a Lesser Sparkle. So this actually might have been a misplay not knocking this thing out. Oh, but they retreated into Genesect. Okay, so maybe we didn't get punished. Okay, that's pretty good. So we'll do this. I mean, we could rope and knock out the Oricorio, which would actually be kind of interesting here. So I'll say sure, we'll Entangling Trap over here. I don't think we're gonna get knocked out, so we'll just promote the Spite Ops. Because if they bump our stadium, I really don't want to... Because they still have a good bit of stadium bumps in deck, theoretically. Okay, they're just going to pass over to us. Broken. So, yeah, we're... Could even just take the KO here, which I don't hate. This is going to be the most knockouts I've ever taken with Spite Ops with this deck, guys. So, yeah, we're just going to go for the Hammer, and I guess. I don't really care about the Super Rod just yet, so... Heavy Ball, not particularly great, unfortunately, because I don't think we had any important Pokemon left that were prized or anything. And a pass over to us, dude. Spite Ops. I can't believe we won the game with Hammer in. Oh my god. Like, every now and again, you might take like a KO with the attack, but we just swept Mew with doing 130 over and over. Okay, so we got the game against MewViewMax. So guys, that is going to wrap up things for our Spidops deck today. Like I mentioned towards the end of the intro of this video, I'm not convinced this is going to be like a super competitive deck, but if you just want a fun deck to take to locals, or honestly even a league challenge where your opponents don't really know what you're playing against and don't know how to play against you, you can steal a surprising amount of games with this thing. Feel free to try it out still, it's a good bit of fun. But of course, if you guys did enjoy today's content, as always, remember to leave a like on the video, or if you are feeling maybe a little extra generous, you can always become a patron at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or pick up some merch at rarecandytcg.com. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.